The number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Cristiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs in New York City and the Hamptons, and we cover Broadway and off-Broadway theater as well as social events out here in the Hamptons. And I'm in the LTV studio with my friend, Angela LaGreca, who is the new creative director of LTV.
Thank you, Patrick.
Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for doing
my
this.
new home. I'm gonna just take a nap here now.
You know, so as a new creative director, you're gonna do fundraisers, stir up business. Tell us what you're gonna.
Well, it's interesting. Yes, I'm doing a lot of different things, and part of it is new programming. Part of it is outreach and trying to get people to underwrite some of what we want to do because we need to expand. I mean, we have a certain amount of money that we operate on, but we want to do more.
We have this fantastic facility.
Great facility. Some people still, even though it's been here since the 80s, do not know really about it enough. And so we're kind of relaunching, in a way, the new face of LTV, which is fun, you know.
And you've already started doing some shoots or something that you're doing?
Yeah, we've done a lot of shoots. I started, I mean, you know my background. I worked in.
Well, I was going to get to your background after we talked about. Do you want to go to the background?
That's totally up to you. Yeah, but it's
let's
fun.
talk about what you're doing what you're going to do here, and then let's talk about all the stuff you bring to being able to do this.
Okay,
well.
good. All right. Yeah, I started at the East Hampton Village Fall Festival, which we just thought, let's take cameras and go capture this. And it was great. I mean, I met students from the high school, musicians and vendors and all these different kiosks and people. And I started.
You go with the camera? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I went with Franklin here, who works here, and I had a camera as a second camera, yeah. And and we just shot it and did a nice spot on it, and the town was really thrilled with it. The mayor spoke, and Steve Rangel was there, who organized it, and all these different vendors. And
I think they put up the pictures. Look what they have.
Oh, that's Max. He's one of the students. I love him. He was one of the students in the high school band, and it was just such a fun day. And so we had that piece running on LTV, which is still been running since the fall, and it was just great to get out and meet people, and let them know that we were there. And we started this campaign, we have the I and I love LTV, and I love LTV.
I love that campaign.
Yeah,
really
and it's
cool.
fun. And so
they've had every one of my guests do the I love.
Except you.
Well, they forgot.
This will be rectified within minutes. So my daughter did it. I mean, my daughter's 5 years old. She comes to me sometimes.
We have a
shoots.
video of her doing it. We're going to show you that.
Okay,
too. It's really cute.
Well, she's 5 and she's fascinated. Mama, are we going on another shoot? And I always cry when I have to go back, mostly because I'm going to be sitting in traffic on the LA. But I cry because I'm leaving the Hamptons, and I do love it here. I love it. And so this opportunity was here, and I get to do more things for a place that I love. So that's cool.
But now you're also creating this salon that's going to happen February 22nd and
Yes.
March 22nd.
So I used to do these in my home. And it's based salon, not a hair salon, but it's the salon basically, it's creative artists who are sharing what they do and also trying things out. Like in the Paris back in the day, and all these artists would, there would be a visual artist, painters would have their work, and writers, and it's the same concept. So we have this great space upstairs. We have the 3 studios down here, but we have space upstairs which we are not really utilizing enough, really, and we want to do that. And I think it's more of an intimate room, and it's a big room upstairs. So we're going to have 2 or 3 artists hang their paintings in the hallways upstairs. It's cool. And then in this room, we'll have our chairs up there and a little stage. We'll have a couple of musicians because we have this great East End Underground show, which, so we'll get like an LTV Unplugged moment. We're going to have some play readings, some well-known people out here who might want to try some plays. I worked on a pilot for something with 2 other people. I'd like to read some scenes. I'd like you to read one of the parts.
Thank you.
So, Stephen Gaines is going to do it, a couple other people who, it's just a way to express yourself and to share and to network. And there's so many creative people out here. I mean, we have, there's some people who have documentary films that they want to show a little bit of, or we have clips of things we want to show. And it's going to be that, they'll come, we'll have some, something to drink, we'll have a DJ, and then we'll do the salon, which will be like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then.
So how long will the whole evening be?
7 to 9.
7
Easy.
to 9, kind of.
Yeah, we're charging like $10.
So you're gonna the first one will be
February 22nd, Friday.
Friday from 7
at
to
7
9.
o'clock, and then we have other ones scheduled.
So if people just come and pay, or they?
Yeah.
And then the next one will be March 22nd?
March 22nd, and then the first Friday in May. And we have 3 set off-season. We need something like that.
So what's the first Friday in May? Do you know what it is?
I want to say the 2nd, but I'd have to look that
That's
up.
all right. It's the first Friday in May. Will be the third one.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. We're going to try it. And I think every time I go out and do a shoot or go out and meet people, I talk up LTV, and then I find another fascinating story. Someone who did something, with a big company, and now they're reinventing their life. Someone who was a performer, who was in publishing and did all. I meet people all the time. I've probably met more people in the last 3 or 4 months on this job than I have in all the years that I've been out here in a different capacity.
Now, you just started in September, is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. October, the very beginning of October.
Congratulations. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun.
Really
I mean, I have a lot of energy, I guess, and I try to bring that to it. Sometimes it's
You
a different
have a lot
pace.
of energy.
It's a different pace. It's a different pace, obviously. But that's why I always like being out here, because it's so. But so we have a great staff, and everybody, has ideas, and we're just trying to, honor the local community and make some interesting TV and empower people. Eric is Glandbart is our
Eric
new
is terrific.
executive director, and he worked here 30 years ago. He's starting free classes, which is great. So everybody takes their phone.
What classes? What is this?
Documentary filmmaking, or how to shoot and edit on your own iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, which I think is great. And we want people to do shows at LTV.
And by the way, it's ltveh.org to find out all the things that are going on. I understand they're going to be updating the
we're overhauling the website. It's a lot all at once, but little by little, I think we're working more and more on it, and I think it's great. I mean, it's exciting.
ltveh.org.
Yeah.
To check out what LTV is happening.
Yeah.
Now, Angela, you bring like an incredible amount of television background and producing
It's
stuff.
fortunate. Yeah, I mean, I was a performer for a long time. You still are, I guess. You know what that's
You
like.
never stop performing,
No,
do you?
I mean, I've stopped for jobs that I just could physically not. I worked at the Today Show for a very long time, and I could not do comedy clubs at night, getting up at 5, 6 in the morning, and you just can't do
Well,
it.
those two don't match.
They're
They don't
hard.
marry
It was
well.
hard. But I was a comedian and a singer for a long time. I opened for Joy Behar for at least 8 years. I worked.
Now, I never knew you sang.
Yeah.
This is
I do. I have it's almost been a curse in a way. I don't want to say that, but I have a legit, I would not be your ingenue on a Broadway show. I would not. I'd be like the Kay Ballard, but I never had a belty voice. So I always had this legit high soprano voice. I did like a classical recital at Smith College, and they were like, I was like the Jim Neighbors of the '90s for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. So anyway,
Did you used to sing in your comedy stuff too?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I
You
still
whip
do.
out and bring a song in?
Yeah, I mean, I might. If we can get a keyboard up there, I'm going to do it. Yeah, so I sing musical songs and musical song. Musical. Oh my God. I sing
Broadway musicals you meant, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do a lot of things. I do impressions, and I do some stand-up, and
Who do you do impressions of?
Oh, well, let's see. Julie, I don't want to say who I do a good Joan Rivers, but she's not here anymore. But yeah, can we talk? Stop it, Patrick. And she was great. I've met her a couple times, and she was the warmest person, actually. And produced her when she was on the Today Show.
Oh.
I still do my Cher impression, which is a classic. And of course, Cher, the final farewell. The final farewell tour is never finally over. She's back on Broadway in another way. They're honoring her,
Right.
but she's like, baby, whoa! She did a. Did you ever hear Cher doing the Little Drummer Boy?
No.
Oh, they're so wait, bum, 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 bum. I was born in the wagon of a traveling, woo! Come, they're told here, pum, pum, pum. Woo! Me and my drum. I've done Cher for a long time. I met her, actually. She's great. Yeah.
I love Cher.
So
we really do love Cher. She's 6 decades
She
with
doesn't
number
stop.
one,
And
right?
And Barbara Streisand, the same thing, Papa. So I always did voices. I don't know why. I just always was like that, even as a kid. I just like to play with it. And I used to ruin songs sometimes. That's the thing. I would sing, a lot of times I sing like a straight musical comedy song, but you don't know it's a musical comedy song. And then all of a sudden so it sounds pretty in my voice, and then all of a sudden there's like a funny punchline thing, and they're like, why'd she do that? But I kind of enjoy it. I don't know.
So do you still perform, but only sparingly? Is that what you're telling me
Yeah, I can't really.
now?
I did these variety shows years ago called Monday Night Madness. They were great. I did them down in the Village at 88, then that closed. I went to Don't Tell Mama, I did it at Caroline's, and then 2 years ago, I was working at Sirius Radio, and I had the kind of schedule where I actually could perform. And I went and did Brandy's Supper Club, which is like the best little piano bar on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. 60 years there. Joan Hamburg came. She's like, it's like a saloon. It's an institution. She came. I love Joan Hamburg.
You do a pretty good one, too.
She's great. And so we did these shows where I would have like Joy Behar, Judy Gold. I would get three guests.
Right.
$5 cover, no drink minimum. Who does that? Insane. But we wanted to play, and that's the idea of the salon. It's the same thing. Like, no matter who you are and how far along you come in your career. Like, I think about Joy all the time. I mean, Joy still takes classes. She's doing short plays. She's always writing. You want to stay creative. It's not like, oh, I made money, I made it, I'm famous.
Well, everybody's different. Joy is unique in that way.
Yeah, but
I mean, all power to her.
But I like that she does that. I mean,
I think
I
it's
feel
terrific.
like once, I thrive on, I like having an idea and then executing it and seeing it work. That gives me more joy than, yes, it's nice to earn a nice salary, but it's not everything. It really isn't everything. For me, it's not. It would be nice to be compensated for what you think is a great idea, but sometimes just doing something for the sake of it, and then other stuff comes from it anyway. I do really believe that, and so I try to do what I love,
We also have, let's show us some of the pictures, because we have some pictures of some of the things that you were just talking
I
about.
originally worked at The View. I don't know where you are with pictures, but I worked...
well, here we have Meredith.
Oh my gosh! Look how good I looked before I worked at the Today Show. I looked like relaxed. I had.
Now, you were instrumental when The View started, right?
Yeah. Well, I actually auditioned to be on The View. Believe it or not, people don't know that.
I know
and they said, well, you didn't get the big job, but how would you like to be the audience warm up? And I'm like, I had done warm up for another show, and it's very hard. It's thankless. I am good at it. I will say that. I found a way to use my energy.
You have a tremendous energy.
A lot of energy, and it's fun. I mean, it can ruin your comedy act in a way, because it's really not about you doing your material. It's really about you getting that audience ready for the real show. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting skill set, but I don't know I have done that under duress. I have done it under the worst circumstances in my life, and it is the best thing to say, like, the show must go on. Like, the show goes on. I mean, I did the warm-up when my mom
So when you
was
say you
not
did this under all these emotionally challenging situations, what you're saying to me, when you pump up your energy to this level, it really gets you out of whatever was going on.
You cannot be self-conscious. You cannot think that's too silly. I mean, and I it's like they're dancing, they're singing, but I like to find that hidden energy. I'll see like 220 people in a room, and they don't know who I am, and I have to go out there, and I have like 15 minutes to get them like crazy pants, but also responsive and energetic and excited. And they came in from wherever, they had to stand in line, they're cranky, but they're excited, sort of, and I have to pull it out of them. I remember doing the warm-up.
You get them focused, right?
And it's
like a focus too, in a way, isn't it?
It is a focus, yeah. And you have to, people will surprise you. I will get like these men in the audience dancing. I had an 80-year-old woman in the audience sing Amazing Grace, and she was amazing. And they're like, they have that thing in them. And then I've talked about serious things sometimes, but then we get right back to the fun. I don't know, I used to think, it's silly, but it's not. I like it.
But you started doing this again, too, right?
Yeah, I used to be the audience warm-up at The View forever. I left, I was promoted, I was the head writer, I did the Hot Topics with Meredith. I left The View, and I went to the Today Show as her producer, and I had a whole other life experience, which was great. I worked on her show.
So you did Hot Topics at The View.
I did Hot Topics.
What did you do at her show on the Today Show?
I was a supervising producer on her show, which lasted 2 years.
They put up a picture of you.
That's me recently. Recently at The View, Joy said the person who I had trained actually was leaving, and so I went back, and when she moderates on Fridays, I do that. And I thought, can I really go back and do The View after all those years as a warm-up? But I was like a bicycle.
Here's more people. This is an early shot of The View. They're just throwing pictures at us.
It's okay. This is a picture with me. This is when I was leaving The View, actually.
This is 2006, you told me.
2006, yeah, and I went to the Today Show. That was hard. I'd been there a long time, and it was a great, great time.
Okay, what else? Do we have more pictures? This is a
that's
Meredith.
A montage with crazy. I love Meredith Vieira. I've been her producer for a very long time, and I miss her. She just called this morning, actually. She's great, and she's the kindest, warmest. I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot. I became a producer because of her, and I just had her voice. I knew her voice, so when we would go on a shoot, I just knew the things to produce for her. I can't explain it. I did her roots piece.
Explained it. You knew her voice. You had her voice.
Yeah,
You
I had her voice and I knew what she cared about, but I learned from her every second of the way. And she's so giving on a shoot. Like, sometimes there'll be talent and they're like, okay, what time are we getting out of here? She's not like that.
Meredith?
This was in Cannes. We did the Cannes Film Festival. I actually did a piece in Cannes.
What year was that? Oh, never mind.
I don't know.
Recent?
No.
Okay, that's not important.
I can't remember, 2010, 11, I mean, that was a while ago. But I did a piece called "Is the French Riviera Ready for Vieira?" And it was this, and I basically went around, I actually interviewed Robert De Niro. They said, you have 5 questions with him, and he's like very, and and I got all these people in this piece to talk about Meredith, and basically the joke was that nobody knew who Meredith was there in France. It was funny, and like I got to do fun things. I did pieces about the Hamptons when I was at the Today Show. I did the something at Wolfer and at the You Pick It Apple Place, and we had all these kids with Meredith, and she was, stomping on grapes, and she was picking apples, and it was like a love letter to the Hamptons. It was fun to be able to do that. And we went to the corn maze, and I wanted to do stuff that I cared about and that I liked, and I got to do that a lot. So I like that, and I'm trying to do that again here, actually.
Do you guys have the video of
Oh my gosh.
Angela warming up the audience?
Really?
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is recent, actually. This
No,
is
no,
not
I know.
old. I'm a little afraid to look
and it's
at it.
handheld camera, so it's not great footage.
Yeah, and I didn't take it.
Can you show us that,
Oh, gosh.
guys?
Oh my God. This is,
You know what I also want to bring is your daughter.
oh, my daughter. I love my daughter, Ava.
Ava is with her doing the campaign, the I Love LTV.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people doing it.
Can we
Mercedes
do
Rule.
that?
I love LTV. I love LTV.
Okay. Sometimes she comes. I have 50-50 custody of her.
But your daughter is beautiful.
Thank you.
Excuse me for interrupting you, but she really is stunning. When they put her up, and I haven't seen her since she was a little baby. I
Yeah,
don't think.
I've been through. It's been a whirlwind of times. Her godmother, believe it or not, is Liza Minnelli. So her name is Ava Liza. And the Liza part of it, I think, actually has rubbed off in some way because she's Mama, when are we going on another shoot? That was at Guildhall at the K through 12
Has she seen
art
Liza
students.
lately?
No, Liza's on the West Coast now. But but I remember when she was very little, and I flew with Ava by myself to California, and my ex was already there, and I had to take Ava to Liza's show in Los Angeles. This is an infant who was, I'm going to say December, January, February, 3 or 4 months old. And she was so great on the plane. She slept for like 4 out of the 5 hours. And then when I got there, we're at the Four Seasons, we had adjoining rooms with Liza. I mean, it was like a whole thing. And my ex used to work for Liza, so anyway. And she said, I want Ava to be at the show. When I was a kid, my parents always brought me to I didn't bring that video, but I have her at the rehearsal. I mean, and so you imagine, these people are sitting down, and I walk in at 7:45 with an infant, and I had 6 pacifiers in my pocket, which was it's like bringing extra batteries on a shoot. It's like, and I'm telling you, she was sleeping at right before the show, and then all of a sudden the overture, dun 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 dun, and Ava would wake up for about 2 songs. She would go back to sleep, and then at the end of the concert, she'd be up like party time. They had a dressing room for her, and I mean, she had a little bit charmed life in a way. I mean, she's been I expose her all the time to art, music, dance, whatever it is. She has seen, a lot of theater. When she was 4 months old, I took her to the Guggenheim.
Oh, here they have a picture of her.
Yeah, this was,
Where is
I
this?
mean, I said, enough with that pose. This is like this Kardashian pose that every child is doing. I'm like, that's enough. But she loves art. She's a really good painter, and I like.
Well, where was
this
that?
This is at Guildhall.
Guildhall.
Recently, yeah. Yeah, it was the K through 12. We've done several things. We do a lot.
Is this the K through 12 too?
No, this is my small living room in the city. That's Ava's artwork in the background, and that's
that's a really nice little piece.
Yeah. No, for her 5th birthday party, we just did a thing where I framed a lot of her or art, and I think it's important for kids to.
Oh, yes.
You know, I mean, I just think they need to be exposed. I think it's valuable, and she responds. I mean, she thinks we're going on a shoot all the time. I take her to things if I can, and if I have a friend who can help. Because a lot of times here at LTV, you know, we're short-staffed. The good thing is that I'm here a lot on weekends, so when other people might not be able to do it, I can pick up a camera. I'm going to go do that. Like I just shot at the Springs Tavern. They were honoring Jackson Pollock's birthday, and so I just took a camera last night and went to the Springs Tavern and interviewed people and, you know, captured it, and we'll turn that around and do a spot on that. I thought that was a good local
When
thing
you
to
do a spot, how long a spot is it?
I think it depends. It depends on, you know, what we get. I think that'll be, it could be 15, 20 minutes. It depends. I mean, sometimes a spot is 5 minutes. Sometimes the art thing that you just saw at Guildhall, I just spoke to Mike Lavin, who's editing it. I think that's going to be almost 25 minutes. But I got a lot of interviews. I got Andrea Grover. I got Jennifer Brondo, everybody who organized it. We got good footage of people performing. And it
Which was the thing at Guildhall?
The K through 12. It was the
Oh,
art student
the
show.
art
It
school
was
thing.
great.
That was
It was
last
such a
weekend.
good show, and I was so proud of those kids. You know, like we did Halloween. I think we might have video of that. You know, Cooper's Lane does this amazing Halloween here. People take their houses, and we came out. Franklin and I came out with cameras, and we did 3 things. We did the Marshall School kids. And then we did the trick-or-treaters and all the vendors in Sag Harbor with the kids, which was great.
What is this? This is
This is Franklin. Yeah, this is where we went to
Franklin.
that shoot. And then I don't know if you have it, Danielle, if you can show that video of, she may or may not have it, of the Halloween on
No,
Cooper's Lane.
she's saying no.
Okay. Well, anyway, you can see the spot on LTV. You can see it on our video on demand. It's on the website. And it was just a cool. It was like dragon slaying and
So
all this
how do
stuff.
you find it?
You go to ltveh.org, and then you click on, there's a video on demand.
And how do you find it? Because my video on demands have all dates and they don't have any titles. I'm just wondering.
It should be on there. I've
So
seen
what
it on
would it-
trending, the Halloween. I think, you know, I have to go. I'd have to see it.
Okay,
bigger.
well-
But
well-
we're overhauling it, but it's there.
We think it's under Halloween though, correct?
Yeah, it should be. It's fun.
On
So, you know,
demand,
we've
go
done
to
lots of things.
VOD. You go to VOD.
I just did some spots at Bay Street because they had the Hamptons Documentary Film Festival. And one of my friends, Judith Kaysen Windsor, who is Edie Windsor's widow, Edie Windsor being responsible basically for gay marriage being the law of the land.
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to profile that night in that film, which is an amazing film. And so,
She's the one that her slogan, don't postpone enjoyment.
Yes.
And keep it
yeah,
hot.
Yeah, and she said there's no such thing as gay marriage, there's just marriage, you know, she's an amazing woman. And anyway, so I just wanted to go do that. I interviewed Terrence McNally for his film. There's so much going on here
What
year
film
round.
did Terrence McNally have?
It was about his life. I can't remember the title now.
They're showing, what is this?
This is
Oh,
Judith.
this is the old
yeah,
docs.
Yeah. So it was a great festival there, and that was
Andrew
in December.
Botsworth has something to do with that documentary series.
Yeah, it was great. And you know, there's stuff happening all the time, not just in season. And we have a lot of new shows that I'm trying to, you know, help kick off. Like, I want to do this show with, they're the Annies, we call them. Annie Bolero has a farm in the Springs, and she makes all kinds of stuff. They have chickens, and they're making lavender honey, and she and Anne Chasson, who is the executive director of the Hamptons Film Festival, they want to do a show in this, I always call it a jet stream, but it's not a jet stream, it's an airstream that Annie has, and it's called Big Conversations in a Little Space. And they're going to.
So what's an Airstream?
We have a picture of it. It
we have
looks
the
like a
picture?
capsule. It's like this little.
Oh, that's
you
an
drive
Airstream?
around in that, and inside it's just like a little, almost like a luncheonette table. It's got a bathroom and a little room in the back, and they're going to, you know, go interview Alec Baldwin and then maybe a local
So
author.
what do you do? You pick people. They'll drive this
They're
thing
gonna
around,
drive.
go to somebody's house,
Yeah.
pick them up. We could take the picture
Put them
down.
in there, and then you know, do that. So they want to call that the She Shed
And
session.
is this going to be a video or a podcast?
No, it's going to be a show on LTV, we hope. Yeah, they have to, like, I have to try to, you know, we all have to do that, empower people to shoot this. Maybe we get GoPros and they shoot it, get the footage, get it edited, and we can show that. That'd be great. And then there are 2 artists out here.
I love that idea. It's terrific. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
and then
wonderful.
Mago is the curator at RJD Gallery in Bridgehampton, and Marcin is a documentary filmmaker. And together, the 2 of them, they want to do this show with different hosts called, you know, like instead of Access Hollywood, it'll be Access Hamptons. So they'll do more of a summary Hamptons thing. Well, they'll go behind the scenes. They have access to a lot of people. They'll show art and whatever else is cool going on behind the hedges, kind of thing. I think that's going to be a fun show. I have so many ideas for shows. We did this Who's Your Neighbor show, which I just started this series. And with the first one was Mercedes Rule, who's
doing those? You do that yourself
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
So you're mixing and matching is kind of what you're doing, or you're gonna...
No, well, like that one, I just wanted to do a series where we have 3 interesting people that we profile regularly. And at the top of the show, I am in it a little bit, just poking into people's homes as a joke, sort of. But I'm not really. You don't even see me doing the interviews. I can do it if I want. I don't feel I have to put myself in every shot. I just want to get the story out.
Right.
You know, and maybe eventually I'll do a show like this somewhere if I want to. But right now, I want to get stuff on the air that I feel like would be cool to do.
You've got a lot percolating. We have about a minute
Okay.
left.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it goes fast.
All
I
right.
know. So how could you wrap up everything in a minute? I mean,
Well, we want you guys to come to LTV. We want you to do shows here. We want you to take the classes. We want you to watch on channel 20 and channel 22. Obviously, you're watching now, so they know the channel. 22 is the government channel. And we want people to get involved. Come to the salon night,
Yeah,
February 22nd, because you don't know who's going to be here. It's going to be interesting, works in progress. And it's just a good way to network. It's and come see what we're about here. I think a lot of times people say, well, where is it? We're near the airport. We're near ARF. We're on Industrial Road. And we're trying to do things that the community cares about. It's fun.
And it's an incredible facility too. I mean, there's so much room for growth. And
the upstairs is unsung. People don't know. We're working on sizzle. When we overhaul the website, you'll be able to see more and more like what we have here. And we want people to help sponsor us eventually, and obviously, and underwrite things so that we can expand. We only have a certain budget. I could do tons of programming if we had more staff,
money.
but we don't. And more money to do things. That's always, But it's public access, and it's important to speak out and use it. Look what you do. Isn't it fun?
But we're out of time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you, Patrick.